Welcome to Haynes and Carolyn Hills Stadium in Dahlonega, Georgia for game number 2 of our doubleheader here today. Nighthawks were able to win game 1, 4-1, a very exciting game with both teams scoring runs in the later half of the game. Nighthawks were able to answer back to a lead that Sand Sharks took in the top of the 5th inning. Mariah Wicker was able to answer back with a solo shot, and then Sophie Mooney was able to come around and score thanks to a RBI from Mallory Parker. Nighthawks took the lead in the bottom of the 5th and added 2 more in the bottom of the 6th to win game 1. We have very similar lineups here today in game number 2. Both teams only making 1 change outside of the circle. Nighthawks will be turning to Tybee Denton in game number 2. Denton is coming off a perfect game performance against King University on Wednesday. Looking to follow that up with something similar. And she's not going to get a perfect game again, as that ball is going to be inside and hit Jaden Goodwin. The Goodwin is on first with none away. That'll bring up Darren Miller, who squares the bunt. That's going to be popped over Mixon's head, who was charging hard. She's going to dive and try to catch that one backwards, but it lands foul. 1-0 count for Miller. Another bunt for Miller. Grabinski's going to field it and fire it to first base to get the first out of the inning. Mixon thought about throwing to second, getting off the leadoff runner, but Goodwin was able to use her speed to advance to second. Then I'll bring up Devin Weller now. She takes strike 1. She's going to send this one off the hands of her bat. That's going to go foul. Lands in the bullpen. 0-2 count. The 0-2 from Denton. That's going to be high for ball number 1. In between games today, they honored people that are fighting cancer and then people that have been lost to cancer. That's going to be a strike from Tybee Denton. Gets a strikeout for the second out of the inning. Both teams came together, lined up on the field, and honored those people that they play for. Special moment here in Dahlonega to honor those who have lost their lives to cancer and those who are currently fighting it, as Chang is going to foul that one down the left field line. Oh, and 1 count for Chang. She's going to take ball 1 low and outside. It's going to be popped up, go foul. One and two count for Taylor Chang. The RBI leader in the Peach Belt looking to add to that with Goodwin on second. That's going to be outside from Denton, 2-2. Shane's going to pop this one softly into left, and it's going to be caught, but it's going to be caught in the bullpen. So count remains 2-2. 2 outs with Goodwin on second. That ball is going to be swung on by Chang and thrown to first base by Georgia Blair. So another strikeout for Tybee Denton. Retires the side as we head to the bottom of the first here in Dahlonega. You're watching Nighthawk softball on the Nighthawk Sports Network. Welcome back to Dahlonega. Joey Lester is going to lead things off for the Nighthawks to start this game off. Nighthawks have a similar batting average to game one. The only change is Sydney Blair will now be the designated hitter instead of Mary Sil Brumby. But other than that, there are no changes to this Nighthawk lineup. As Lester takes ball one low and in the dirt. Abigail Ramirez is going to be on the mound for the Sand Sharks. Ramirez is a junior. She sends one to Lester's going to foul that one off, 1-1. Ramirez is from Houston, Texas. So far this season, she's pitched in 20.2 innings, given up 15 hits and 10 earned runs. Has 15 strikeouts credited to her name. Ramirez throws ball number 2, low and outside to Lester. Lester sends that one foul off her leg. She's going to walk that one off. It's very windy here today, which has made it feel very cold, as you can see by the flags in the outfield fence. Very windy day. Had a few outfielders have a hard time tracking the ball in game one of our doubleheader. Lester's going to again foul this one back, 2-2. Ramirez delivers the 2-2. Lester again is going to foul this one, chops it down the first base line. Lester had a RBI in the first game today. Went 1 for 4 earlier today. Lester sends this one up the middle, and that's going to be a base hit for her. It's going to be thrown in quickly. Lester will remain at first for a leadoff single for the Nighthawks. So that'll bring up Mariah Wicker now. Wicker was able to get things going for the Nighthawks in the bottom of the fifth inning, hit a solo home run with 2 outs to tie the game up, and then after that the Nighthawks were able to add another run as Wicker tries to lay that bunt down, but it's going to go foul, and it looks like it hit her outside of the batter's box, so that's going to be an out. Looks like Coach Davenport was not happy with that call. He thought Mariah Wicker was still inside the batter's box, but home plate umpire said it hit her outside, so that's going to be an out. Umpires are going to discuss things over. Mariah Wicker is going to still be standing just outside the batter's box, hoping the other umpires can call her safe. And so now that's going to bring out the head coach for the Sand Sharks, who's now wondering if they did call her out or safe. Looks like Mariah Wicker's going to get another attempt. So after a umpire meeting, they're going to change the call. So Mariah Wicker is going to get another opportunity against Ramirez. So corners are playing in on Wicker, anticipating a bunt. Wicker today has shown she can hit for power or lay one down. She's going to square again. This one is going to again go foul. So Wicker finds herself in a 0-2 hole. Wicker was hoping to advance Lester to second, was unable to get the bunt down and fair play. That ball's going to bounce in the dirt from Ramirez, 1-2. One and two from Ramirez. And a big cut from Wicker as she goes down swinging. So one away for the Nighthawks. That'll bring up Sophie Mooney. Mooney was perfect in the first game, going 3 for 3. Was able to come around and score a run as well. That one's going to be on the outside of the corner of the plate for strike one to Mooney. Mooney sends this one into the gap in right center, and Lester's going to be waved around to home as that ball's still at the wall. The throw in time is not going to be in time as Mooney gets a RBI double to kick things off here in the bottom of the first inning. Nighthawks lead this one 1-0 now. Mooney remains perfect on the day, going 4 for 4 between 2 games. Mooney's seen the ball really well today off of the Sand Sharks pitchers. Now it's going to bring up Mallory Parker. Parker got the go-ahead RBI in game number 1. Sent Sophie Mooney home, who was also at second base in this very similar situation to the RBI Parker had in game 1. Parker sends this one softly to second, and it's going to be fielded and thrown out for the second out of the inning, but Sophie Mooney is able to advance. Jaden Goodwin was there for the Sand Sharks.
Number 71, Georgia Blair.
That's going to bring up Georgia Blair. Blair struggled a little bit in game 1. She takes ball 1 low and in the dirt from Ramirez. And a change-up from Ramirez is going to land in the zone, 1-1 count. Blair with an RBI opportunity. Sophie Mooney is standing on third after her RBI double. Sent Lester home. That ball is going to be low inside again, 2-1. The Nighthawks and the Sand Sharks lead the Peach Belt in team batting average. The Sand Sharks are in first with a .390 average, with the Nighthawks following closely behind with a .358 batting average. That's a strike from Georgia Blair, 2-2. As Mooney's going to try to take home, and she's going to get there in time. Mooney is able to steal home on a delayed steal. Caught Ramirez and Reynolds napping there. Is able to sneak a run for the Nighthawks. Looked like Mooney was dead in the water, but Ramirez threw that ball a little bit too high for Reynolds, and Mooney's able to sneak in and touch home. That ball's going to be low from Ramirez, 3-2. Even though both offenses lead the Peach Belt in batting average, both teams were held in check by the opposing pitcher. Kristen Davis for the Nighthawks and Sierra Kinlaw for the Sand Sharks both did a nice job. Both teams started to find their rhythm late in the game, but were still held in check. Only 5 runs between both teams. As Blair sends this one hotly down the third base line, and she's going to head for two. That ball is thrown in quickly, but it's not going to be in time as Blair slides in safely for a 2-out double. The Hawks already have 3 hits so far today. And that'll bring up the designated hitter, Sydney Blair. Blair is a sophomore. She's seen her first action today for the Nighthawks. Had a very successful freshman season. Named to the Peach Belt All-Conference team, and she sends this one softly to third, and she's going to beat that ball out. So nice job by Sydney Blair to use her speed and get runners on the corners for the Nighthawks. And that's going to bring Reynolds to the circle to talk things out with Ramirez. Looked like Owens wanted to go out as well, but she decides to head back into the dugout. Still early here, the Nighthawks only lead 2-0, but they've been able to put the ball in play against Ramirez. Already finding a lot more early success against Ramirez than they did against Kinlaw. The Hawks are still the top-ranked team in the nation. They have suffered 2 losses on this season, but still find themselves with that number 1 spot. As Sydney Blair is going to take off and not even going to be a throw from Reynolds. So Sydney Blair picks up a stolen base, puts herself in scoring position for Gracie Mixon. That ball's going to be in there for Ramirez, 1-1. Mixon sends this one foul. I'm going to go over the first base dugout. 1-2 count. The Hawks are on their 7th hitter already so far this inning. Looking to extend this inning and take a bigger lead. The runners on 3rd and 2nd. That ball is going to be outside 2-2. You got both Blairs on 3rd and 2nd. Georgia Blair on 3rd and Sydney Blair on 2nd. A changeup, Mixon waits on it, but fires it hotly to the shortstop. Goes right in Weller's glove, so that will end the inning. Nighthawks are able to take a 2-0 advantage. We'll be right back with you here on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
Northeast Georgia Health System is a proud supporter of North Georgia Nighthawk Athletics.
Welcome back to Dahlonega in the top of the second inning. Addie Reynolds can lead things off for the Sand Shark, who are looking for their first hit against Tybee Denton. That ball's going to be high from Denton, 1-1 count. That ball's going to be high from Denton, 2-1. So far this season, Tybee Denton has a 1.20 ERA. She has 5 wins and 1 loss. She's gone 6 complete games. She's only given up 13 hits on the season and allowed 6 earned runs. Has a whopping 50 strikeouts so far this season, which puts her at second best, tied with Peyton Barker from USC Aiken and Madeline Wise from Flagler is the leader, as Denton's going to pick up a strikeout there to give her 51 on the season. It's able to get Addie Reynolds looking there. That'll bring up Mariah Stevens now, the third baseman. She takes a big hack and gonna swing and miss that one, 0-1. That ball's gonna be low and outside from Denton, 1-1. That was Denton's second strikeout so far this game. She gets a big cut from Stevens, 1-2. That ball's going to be hit foul from Stevens, so a 1-2 count. This Nighthawk pitching staff is very deep and very dominant. Got Kristen Davis, who is often the Game 1 starter, and then you've got Tybee Denton here on the mound today, the Game 2 starter, as Stevens sends this one deep into left, and Lester is there for the first out of the inning, or the second out of the inning. Sophie Mooney, who's playing first today and often plays first this season, comes on in relief for the Nighthawks. She did so in Game 1, pitched 1 inning, and able to secure the game for the Nighthawks in Game 1. As Mackenzie Ford is now up to bat, playing first base today for the Sand Sharks. And Denton throws 2 quick strikes to her. The Hawks also have Delaney Heberlin and Aniston Wright as depth in their pitching staff. Both are phenomenal pitchers. That's going to be high from Denton, 1-2. This pitching staff was the best in the Peach Belt, one of the best in the nation overall last year. Was a big reason why they were able to make it all the way. So that one is chopped foul by 4. This season, the UNG pitching staff has a Peach Belt best 1.49 ERA. They hold opposing batters to a 163 batting average. So pretty tough for teams to win games against the Nighthawks when they are batting 358 and opposing batters have to face off against this pitching staff and only get a hit 1/10 of the time. That ball is going to be high from Denton, 2-2. Just missed this one, typing it into the crowd here and no longer wanted that called for strike 3. Didn't just miss the outside corner there. And a big swing for Mackenzie Ford gets Denton another strikeout on the day. Nighthawks will head up to bat in the bottom of the second when we return on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
Number 32, Kyle Hornsby.
Inside the 30. Touchdown. Michaela Burgess. An incredible finish by Hall.
The NCAA and its member schools offer nearly 500,000 college athletes a path to go pro in something other than sports. Learn more at ncaa.org.
I'm here.
You've got a lot of reasons to be here.
I'm here.
That's why we're here at Georgia Heart Institute, where advanced heart attack treatment protocols are saving more hearts than anywhere else in the state. That's why we're here.
I'm here.
So you'll always be there. The future of heart care, we're leading Georgia there. Georgia Heart Institute.
The road to national championships runs through NCAA.com. And whether you follow one college team or all of them, it's never been easier to get the content you want with NCAA.com, the home of college sports.
Welcome back to the bottom of the second inning. Tegan Laveo Masonette is going to lead things off for the Nighthawks, playing second base for the second consecutive day. She squares around to bunt, but pulls it back, and that's going to be a strike from Abigail Ramirez. And that's going to be another strike. That one pretty high for Ramirez, but umpire likes it. 0-2 hole now for Laveo Masonette. Nighthawks are on their 8, 9, and 1 hitters here this inning. Laveo Masonette sends that one foul down the third base line. (0-2) count for Laveo Masonette. She sends this one hotly down the third base line. That ball is going to be called fair, and Masonette's going to take off to second and be there standing up for a leadoff double for the Nighthawks. So none away for the Nighthawks, threatening to score again here in this inning with none away and Laveo Masonette standing on second. That'll bring up Riley Moody. Moody sends that one off her foot. Moody, another big cut. Finds herself in a 0-2 hole. Big moment for her. She's able to put this ball in play. Pick up an RBI, extending a Hawk lead to 3. That ball's going to get away from Reynolds, and Laveo Masonette's going to take off towards third, and she will be safe. Puts herself 60 feet closer to scoring. Moody waits on the changeup and sends that one down the left field line. It's going to be caught, but Laveo Masonette's going to tag up and score. So a RBI sac fly for Riley Moody extends this game to 3-0. The Hawks have one away here in the bottom of the second inning. That'll bring up Jolie Lester. 1 for 1 on the day. Came around to score the Nighthawk first run back in the bottom of the first inning. Looking to lead things off again with the bases cleared after Masonette was able to come home and score. Lester fouls that one down the first base line. 0-1 count. One count for Lester as she sends this one to right. That ball is going to be caught by J.C. Coleman. So quickly 2 away for the Nighthawks. That'll bring up Mariah Wicker. Wicker was 0 for 1 so far in game number 2. She takes ball 1 outside. Wicker had a strikeout against Ramirez in her first at bat. That's going to be called a strike on Wicker, inside part of the plate. Wicker's going to foul this one back, 1-2. The Hawks have scored in each inning so far. Scored 2 back in the bottom of the first, and then was able to play another earlier this inning. Wicker's hoping to extend the inning with 2 away. That ball is going to be inside for ball number 2. Wicker is a senior, went to Buford High School, one of the powerhouse programs in Georgia high school softball. Wicker delivers and sends this one well high into shallow center, and that ball will be caught for the final out of the bottom of the second. Nighthawks are able to add 1 more run to their lead. They lead this game 3-0. We're right back here with you on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
Greatness. Greatness is defined as striving to succeed. It is giving everything you have to achieve your goals. It's not defined by the numbers of games you lose, the numbers of shots you miss, but it's the risk in failing that will define your greatness. You earn it by showing up early, by pushing yourself every day, by working harder than everyone else. And when you've reached that point of giving up, you don't. Most people are good, others are great. Find your greatness.
Welcome back to Dahlonega in the top of the third inning. J.C. Coleman will lead things off for the Sand Sharks. She takes strike one from Tybee Denton. So far through 2 innings, Denton, as she's going to get a little pop out from Coleman for the first out of the inning. Denton has not allowed a hit and not allowed a walk. Also has picked up 4 strikeouts. She's allowed 1 base runner. That was Jaden Goodwin, the leadoff hitter. Hit her in her first at-bat of the game. Now she'll face off against Soraya Simmons. Simmons moved over to left field in game 2, with J.C. Coleman getting the nod in right field as Simmons faces a 1-1 count. That ball's going to be popped. Well, foul 1-2. And a big swing and a miss from Simmons gets Tybee Denton her 5th strikeout on the day. Gives the Nighthawks 2 outs. Here in the top of the third inning, and Jaden Goodwin's going to come back up to bat for the Sand Sharks. She takes ball 1 high. For the first time through the lineup, Denton was able to strike out 5 of the 9 hitters. She's coming for the Peach Belt lead in strikeouts here this afternoon. Hoping to take the lead. That one's going to be low from Tybee Denton, so 3 straight balls. Goodwin has been a tough out today for these Nighthawk pitchers. She's faced 4 times. She's going to take strike 1 from Denton. That's almost going to hit Goodwin, so she's going to reach base for the 2nd time today. This time gets on by a walk. That's going to bring up Darren Miller now. Miller sacrifice bunted in her first plate appearance. Advance. Goodwin, she sends this one softly to Moody. He's going to charge that ball and throw it across. And it looks like that is going to be caught by Sophie Mooney and tagged out. But the Sand Sharks are arguing that Sophie Mooney stepped off the bag as she caught the ball. Watch it look like from here that Mooney, when she caught that ball, looked like she was standing off of first. So that would mean that Miller was safe, but umpire at first had the closest view, and he said that Mooney was able to keep her foot on the bag long enough. So the Sand Sharks are staying on first and second. The Nighthawks are heading back to the dugout, thinking it's the final out of the inning. It looks like they're going to call her safe. So the Nighthawks are going to head back out to the field. So Mooney was not able to keep her foot on the bag. So that gives the Sand Sharks runners on first and second with one away. Now we'll bring up Devin Weller. She first pitch swing, sends that one hard and foul down the left field line for strike number 1. Oh, and 1 count for Devin Weller, and Sand Sharks are looking to get their first run. She squares to bunt, fouls that one back. Denton is ahead in the count 0-2. A big swing from Weller sends this one into deep left center, and Mallory Parker is there to track that one down and keep the Sand Sharks scoreless. Nighthawks lead this one 3-0 when we return on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
To them, the whole world looks like an opportunity, one to be seized, built upon, and made better for their sport and the people around it. To student athletes, every opportunity is a chance to change what could be and show the world what opportunity can do.
Welcome back to the bottom of the third inning. Sophie Mooney is going to lead things off for the Nighthawks. He takes strike number 1 from Ramirez, who is still on the mound for the Sand Sharks. She's given up a run in each inning so far. Mooney takes ball 1 high. Mooney is 1 for 1. Had a double and an RBI. Also had a stolen base. She stole home last time she was on the base pass. Mooney's going to send this one back to Goodwin at second, and that ball is snagged by Mackenzie Ford at first. That ball pulled her off the bag. She's able to jump up, grab it, and touch first base in time before Mooney can reach. So 1 away for the Nighthawks, and that is the first time that Sophie Mooney has been retired today. Now that'll bring up Mallory Parker, 0 for 1 so far in game number 2. She takes a strike on the outside corner of the plate. Another strike on the outside corner. Looks like the crowd and Mallory Parker are going to be frustrated with those consecutive strike calls that were pretty high and outside. And after Ramirez is able to jump out in an 0-2 count, she's going to have a mound visit from her head coach, Cody Yeski, in her third season with the Sand Sharks. Just hoping to get off to a better start in Peach Belt play. Sand Sharks have a tough first opponent in the Nighthawks, who are a huge threat each season in Peach Belt action. They're constantly fighting for the regular season conference championship and then always a threat in the tournament. That ball's going to be high again for Ramirez, 2-2. Parker sends this one down in left field. That ball is going to fall in front of Simmons, so Parker gets a single, gets her first hit of the game. Gives the Nighthawks a runner at first. And now she's going to get some signs from Coach Davenport, as well as Georgia Blair, who's going to step back up to the plate for the Nighthawks. Blair is 1 for 1 on the day, had a double in her first plate appearance against Ramirez. And Parker's going to take off on that pitch, and not even going to be a throw from Reynolds. That ball got away from her there. So Parker finds herself in scoring position, hoping for another Georgia Blair double to send her home. That's going to be outside from Ramirez, 2-0. Ramirez still looking for a strike on Georgia Blair. That ball's going to get away from Reynolds, and Parker's going to take off and advance to third on that wild pitch. So 3-0 count for Ramirez. Ramirez is at a 0-2 lead against Mallory Parker when Coach Yeski decided to take a mound visit at that moment. After that, she threw 2 straight balls and then gave up a hit to Parker, and now she is in a 3-0 hole against Georgia Blair. Questionable time for Coach Yeski to come out and talk to her pitcher. She throws a strike to Georgia Blair, 3-1 count. And a change up to Georgia Blair. She's going to wait on it, sit it back up the middle. Mallory Parker is going to score, and Georgia Blair is going to round first and head back to first as she's able to pick up a RBI single, send the Nighthawk lead to 4-0. Gives her her second hit of the afternoon. That's going to bring up Sydney Blair now, who's also 1 for 1 on the day. She's going to chop this one shallow into left and just past the diving glove of shortstop Devin Weller. So Blair picks up her second hit of the game. Is able to advance Georgia Blair to second. That's going to bring up Gracie Mixon. Mixon is 0 for 1. Had Georgia Blair and Sydney Blair on the base pass last time she was up, but lined one to Weller at short to end the inning. She gets another opportunity here. She takes strike one from Ramirez. And a cut from Gracie Mixon sends this one fouled on the first base line. Finds herself in an 0-2 hole. Still one away here for the Nighthawks in the bottom of the third inning. They've already scored 1 run, looking to add to that. That ball's going to get away from Reynolds, so Georgia Blair and Sydney Blair are both going to advance. Puts them 60 feet closer to scoring and gives Gracie Mixon another opportunity. With both Blairs in scoring position, she is in a similar position to her last at bat. Lined out to end the inning. Looking for a different result here in the bottom of the third. That ball is going to get away from Ramirez. 2-2. That ball's going to be low and inside. 3-2 count for Ramirez now as Mayfield's going to come in and talk to her. Don't want to lose Gracie Mixon here. She was ahead in the count 0-2, but after 3 straight balls, Mixon is finding herself in a good position at 3-2. Mixon fouls this one off. Still a 3-2 count for Gracie Mixon. Mixon is going to again foul this one back. Don't know if she liked that pitch, but didn't want to risk leaving it up to the umpire. Kind of check swing at that one. Just gets enough of it to foul it off, and we'll do it again. Count remains 3-2, 1 out. Georgia Blair on third, Sydney Blair on first. Mixon sends this one to the shortstop Weller, who's going to fire it across and get Mixon at first, and then they're going to fire it across and get Sydney Blair at third, and she is going to be hurt on that tag. She's a little shaken up on that play. The Hawks were able to score another run. Georgia Blair was able to come home, so they lead this one 5-0. Looks like Sydney Blair is okay. She's going to walk off on her own power, holding her back. We'll be right back with you here for the top of the fourth on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
My name is Lana Titterina, and UNG is where I lead. I chose UNG because of the tennis program and how much the tennis program has achieved in the past, and I wanted to be a part of building a good team, but also the campus is very beautiful, the location, it has the new business building that I really like, and when I did my research I really liked Dahlonega in Georgia. So one of the biggest challenges that I faced was coming here and not knowing anyone. I didn't know how the culture was and how to really approach people. And being new and not knowing anyone can be tough in the beginning. So you have to really put yourself out there and make connections, talk to people.
Welcome back to the top of the fourth. Taylor Chang's going to lead things off for the Nighthawks, and she's going to take strike number 1 from Denton. Chang is 0 for 1 on the day as a strikeout. That ball's going to be low in the dirt. 1-1 count from Denton. Denton has given up 0 hits so far and had 5 strikeouts. He's also had 1 walk and 1 hit by pitch. But most importantly, she has 3 zeros on the scoreboard so far through 3 innings. Looking to hold the Sand Sharks scoreless. Shane's going to hit that softly to Mixon, who's there. And going to fire it across Sophie Mooney for the first out of the inning. Nighthawks have 8 hits compared to the Sand Sharks, none. They've had a few base runners, though. Had 2 free passes and then an error. That ball by Reynolds is going to be hit hardly down the left field line. It's going to fall foul. So 0-1 count for Addie Reynolds. So that ball's getting away from Georgia Blair. 1-1. That one's going to be foul tip by Reynolds. 1-2. And again, Reynolds is going to foul that one off, staying alive battling against Ty B. Denton on the mound. Reynolds is going to pop that one. It's going to stay fair, and Georgia Blair and Sophie Mooney are going to collide, but Sophie Mooney is able to hang on to that ball as both are on the ground, and Georgia Blair is holding her head. Blair took her mask off to try to find that ball, and neither Mooney or Blair saw each other as they both collided. So Georgia Blair is going to be checked on by the training staff. Looked like Sophie Mooney ran into the head of Georgia Blair, and she's gonna be okay. And her and Sophie Mooney are gonna give each other a little pat on the shoulders. They're both gonna laugh at that one. So glad to see that Georgia Blair is okay. Sorry. Athletic training staff here in Dahlonega is getting some work after back-to-back injuries for the Nighthawks. Glad to see that Georgia Blair is okay. So 2 away for the Nighthawks after that catch by Sophie Mooney. And a big cut from Mariah Stevens. Stevens has a fly out. He's playing third base today for the Sand Sharks. And now he's going to check her on that swing, but first base ump says that she was able to hold back 1-1. This one's going to be hit softly to Mixon at third. She's going to get there and throw it across to Sophie Mooney for the final out of the fourth inning. Nighthawks lead this game 5-0 as they head back up to bat. You're watching Nighthawk softball on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
I'm Wyatt Nicholson, and UNG is where I lead. Moving from Fort Worth, Texas, here to Blue Ridge, Georgia, I got to be completely honest, it was pretty terrifying. Just because knowing that I'm starting basically fresh, it was just a sure set thing in my mind, and just, I wanted to make new friends. I wanted to have a good community here. I have some friends that go to Texas A&M, which was in my mind about going to, and they don't even know their professors' names most of the time. And so I just think here, I have a relationship with most of my professors, and they care about me, they care about my success, and that just means so much to me. And that was what drew me to the Blue Ridge campus and to University of North Georgia. Actually, initially, I wasn't going to be a part of the Scholars Program. I just kind of wanted to be, I guess you could say, in normal classes. But whenever Professor Price, he's our political science professor here on the Blue Ridge campus, he'd reached out to me and he kind of let me know that coming from out of state, it would be a great way to meet new people through the Scholars Program. And so I signed up for it, basically for that, so that way I could have, new friends and just have a great community to surround myself with. But upon actually getting involved with the Scholars Program, it's actually done so much more for me than just that. It's also allowed for me to get involved with the community, with our leadership cohort. It's just amazing stuff that I never thought I would be able to get involved with here on the Blue Ridge campus, but it's all due to the fact that I was able to help with the Scholars Program. But obviously attending this new campus, it was very scary. But luckily, the people here, including the faculty and the students, are just outstanding in every way, and they made me feel so welcome.
Welcome back to Dahlonega, where we have a pitching change for the Sand Sharks. It's going to be Cassie Brundage on the mound for the remainder of this game. Brundage is a freshman from Canton, Georgia. We saw her in the first game, got a pitch hit opportunity. So far this season, she's pitched in 23.1 innings, giving up 24 hits and 13 earned runs. She also has 16 strikeouts on the season. It's a 3.9 ERA. She's going to face off against Tegan Laveo Massonet. Laveo Massonet is 1 for 1 on the day, has a double. Also scored a run, had a stolen base. First time she was up to bat. That's going to be a strike from Brundage, 1-1. And the Sand Sharks that made the trip to Dahlonega were pretty frustrated with that ball. Two and one count. Looks like that may be a make-up call because that ball is way high and outside. 2-2. Looks like the ump does not know his strike zone. Another high and outside pitch from Brundage. Has a 3-2 count now. That one's going to be hit well foul by Laveo Masonette. Still a 3-2 count. That one's going to be fouled back. Still battling for Masonette. And a swing and a miss from Masonette. Brundage gets a strikeout in her first batter that she faces. That's going to bring up Riley Moody. Moody had a sac fly RBI in her first plate appearance. Moody takes a big swing there, 0-1. That ball goes high, gets away from Reynolds, 1-1. Brundage is a great addition so far in her freshman campaign. Been a big presence on the mound for the Sand Sharks and also has made her presence felt up to bat for the Sand Sharks. She's a few at-bats so far this season. Also picked up one earlier in the first game. Moody swings at that one, 2-2 count, fouls that one back behind the press box. One away for the Nighthawks here in the bottom of the fourth inning. That one's outside from Brundage, 3-2. Moody sends this one to Goodwin at second. That ball is caught for the second out of the inning. So Brundage goes 2 up, 2 down, looking for a 3 up, 3 down. She's going to face off against Jolie Lester for the first time. Lester is 1 for 2 on the day. Also has a run. The Hawks have scored in every inning so far, hoping to keep that trend going as Lester faces Brundage for the first time, takes a strike from her. That ball is going to be high from Brundage, but it's going to be called for strike number 2. Looks like when it crossed Jolie Lester, it was high, and the catcher, when she caught it, it was a strike. But the umpire decided to go ahead and give Brundage the benefit of the doubt. Lester's going to hit this one softly to Goodwin at second. Nighthawks go 3 up, 3 down in the bottom of the fourth inning. They still lead this one 5-0. We'll be right back here with you on the Nighthawk Sports Network. Welcome back to the top of the 5th inning. Tybee Denton is still on the mound for the Nighthawks, and she's going to face off against Mackenzie 4 for the first time. 4 is 0 for 1 on the day with a strikeout. She's one of the 5 Sand Sharks to strike out. She sends that one into left, and that's going to be the first hit for the Sand Sharks. So Denton gives up her first hit here in the top of the 5th inning. Had gone 4 innings without giving up a hit, but 4 was able to break that. Gives them a runner at first with none away. That'll bring up J.C. Coleman, who is 0 for 1 on the day with a fly out. She squares the bunt and pops that one back, and is going to fall foul. Sand Sharks in Game 1 were able to score their lone run in the top of the 5th, hoping for a similar story here as Coleman again squares the bunt. This one's going to be popped up to Mixon, and she's going to fire it to first as Denton quickly hit the turf to try to avoid that throw from Mixon. So 1 away for the Sand Sharks after that failed sacrifice bunt attempt. That'll bring up Soraya Simmons. Simmons' first pitch swings at that one, fouls that one well over the press box. Simmons struck out in her first plate appearance against Denton. She's going to send this one to Mixon, who's going to fire to second. That ball is going to get away from Laveo Masonette, and 4 is going to take off towards third. And she will be safe. So after that miss throw from Mixon, looks like Coach Davenport's going to come out and talk things over with his defense. Looks like he's pretty frustrated after that misplay by the Nighthawk defense. Perfect opportunity for a double play, but the Nighthawks messed that up with a throw that gets by Laveo Masonette. So the Sand Sharks have runners on the corners now. For Jaden Goodwin. This is exactly who the Sand Sharks would like to have up in this moment. Goodwin is not have a recorded at bat. She's walked twice so far today. She takes ball number 1 from Denton. That ball is going to be inside. 1-1 count. And Simmons is going to take off. They're going to throw it down to Moody, and it's not going to be in time as the Sand Sharks are able to get another runner in scoring position. Mackenzie 4 over there at third did not even attempt to go home on the throw down to second. It's Goodwin pops this one to Moody at short. She's going to catch it for the second out of the inning. So the Sand Sharks are down to their last out here in this inning with runners still on third and second. And it's up to Darren Miller to bring them home. Miller is 0 for 1 on the day. She takes strike 1 from Denton. Miller had a sac bunt in her first plate appearance and then was able to reach on an error in her last at bat as this one is popped up, finds herself in a 0-2 hole. She's going to chop this one again. It's going to go foul. Big moment for the Sand Sharks. Have an opportunity to pluck away this lead if they're able to send them home, and they're not going to do that as Miller is going to be struck out by Tybee Denton. Denton is able to keep the Sand Sharks off the scoreboard. Nighthawks still lead this one 5-0. They'll be up to bat when we return on the Nighthawk Sports Network. Welcome back to the bottom of the 5th inning, where Caitlin Johnson will now step up to hit for Mariah Wicker. Johnson has been playing right field the past few innings, getting her first at bat this afternoon. Came into pinch run in game 1. She squares the bunt, and it's going to be fielded barehanded and thrown out at first just in time. Mariah Stevens does a nice job to pick that up with her bare hand. If she would have picked it up with her glove, Caitlin Johnson most likely would have beat that ball out. So that'll bring up Sophie Mooney. Mooney is 1 for 2 on the day with a double, an RBI, and also a stolen base. She grounded out in her last plate appearance. She's going to take ball 1 from Brundage. Mooney's going to swing on that one hard, 1-1. Ball's going to be low and inside on Mooney, 2-1. Mooney's going to send this one off her foot. This is going to be called foul, 2-2. The Hawks are still looking for their first hit off Brundage, as she came in relief last inning. It's going to be outside from her, 3-2. That's going to be ball 4 from Brundage. Mooney's able to reach on a walk. Mooney is a threat to steal. She is perfect so far on the year. She stole home earlier this game on a little delayed steal. Was able to catch Ramirez and Reynolds behind the plate sleeping. Now Mallory Parker will stand in to bat, and Mooney's going to take off on the first pitch, and that ball gets away from both of these Sand Sharks, and Mooney has to dive back to third as she rounds. Mooney gets 2 stolen bases. Puts herself 60 feet for making this lead 6. Hoping that Mallory Parker can put something down to give her opportunity to make it home. Parker is 1 for 2 on the day with a stolen base, also has a run scored. Change up to her is going to be in there for strike 1. 1-1 count. Crowd here in Dahlonega is fired up after that strike call. Both sides have been pretty frustrated with the umpire's strike zone. That ball is low and away, 2-1. Parker chops this one just foul. Would have been perfectly placed ball for Parker and the Nighthawks as that one chopped over Stevens' head at third. So a 2-2 count for Mallory Parker. That ball is going to be just outside, and Brundage is fired up at that call. She took her mask off and hit her glove a few times. Wanted that called strike 3. Wanted a second out here in this inning. Sophie Mooney, as soon as she took her mask off, Sophie Mooney stayed out off of third, was hoping to catch Reynolds again, but Reynolds was keeping her eye on Mooney this time as Parker sends this one down into left field, and that ball is going to get down, and Sophie Mooney comes across to score. Parker picks up an RBI, and the Hawks lead this one 6-0 now. Still 1 away here for the Hawks in the bottom of the 5th inning. That's going to bring up Georgia Blair. Blair is 2 for 2 on the day, has an RBI, a double, and also scored a run. She now represents the winning run for the Nighthawks. So that ball is going to be inside, 1-0 count. Nighthawks just need 2 more runs to have a run rule victory. The rule is 8 runs after 5 innings. The Hawks now just need 2, with Georgia Blair representing the winning run. And the Sand Sharks may be talking things over. Just make sure they're aware that Georgia Blair cannot score here. This game will be over early. And Mallory Parker is going to take off on the pitch, and she is going to be thrown out. A perfect throw from Reynolds is going to get Mallory Parker caught stealing, and she seems a little confused as she heads back to the dugout. Coach Davenport is shaking his head, maybe a little bit of miscommunication on that call. So Georgia Blair has a 2-0 count. She's going to take a third ball, 3-0. This one's going to be hit to short, and it's fielded and thrown across to 4 at first. So the Nighthawks are retired, but not before they're able to add one more run to their lead. They'll be back up to bat in the top of the 6th inning when we return on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
Northeast Georgia Health System is a proud supporter of North Georgia Nighthawk Athletics.
Welcome back to the top of the 6th inning where Devin Willer is going to step in. She sends a first pitch deep down the left field line, but that ball goes well foul. Weller is 0 for 2 in game number 2, has a strikeout and a flyout. She takes one inside from Tybee Denton for ball number 1. That ball's going to be sent well foul. Again, 1-2 count. That ball's going to be high from Denton, 2-2. That ball's going to be sent well into center field, and that ball is gone. A solo home run for Devin Weller. Gives the Sand Sharks their first run of the game as Weller crosses home plate. Sand Sharks are able to cut the deficit to 5 through a solo shot from Devin Weller. That's going to bring up Cassie Brundage now. She's going to come up to bat for the first time, take the place of the designated hitter Taylor Chang, and she's going to first pitch swing at this one, send this one well into right center, and Parker is there for the catch, and that's going to be the first out of the inning. Sand Sharks pick up their second hit of the day after that Weller home run. Get their first run of the day. And now it'll be Addie Reynolds. She first pitch swings again, and Lesser is there and left for 2 quick outs. Then through 2 pitches to the past 2 hitters, able to get them both to fly out to the outfield. Now that'll be Mariah Stevens. Stevens takes ball 1 from Denton. She sends this one well down the left field line. That one goes foul. Then delivers the 1-1. That was just going to be just outside. 2-1 now. And a big swing and a miss from Stevens. Evens the count at 2-2. Stevens is still looking for her first hit against Denton. And she's going to get rung up by the umpire. Another strikeout for Tybee Denton ends the inning. You're watching the Nighthawk Sports Network. We'll be right back here with you after this.
Number 32, Kyle Hornsby.
Inside the 30. Touchdown. Michaela Burgess. An incredible finish by Holmes.
The NCAA and its member schools offer nearly 500,000 college athletes a path to go pro in something other than sports. Learn more at ncaa.org.
I'm here.
You've got a lot of reasons to be here.
I'm here.
That's why we're here at Georgia Heart Institute, where advanced heart attack treatment protocols are saving more hearts than anywhere else in the state. That's why we're here.
I'm here.
So you'll always be there. The future of heart care, we're leading Georgia there. Georgia Heart Institute.
The road to national championships runs through NCAA.com. And whether you follow one college team or all of them, it's never been easier to get the content you want with NCAA.com, the home of college sports.
Sydney Blair is going to lead things off for the Nighthawks here in the bottom of the 6th inning. They have a 6-1 lead here in the bottom of the 6th. They also have a 9-2 hit advantage over the Sand Sharks. Sydney Blair was shaken up the last time she was up to bat. She was able to reach and then got thrown out at third. Came up holding her back, so good to see her back up to bat. 2 for 2 on the day, looking for her third hit. She's going to chop this one, and it's going to go just foul. Two and 1 count for Sydney Blair against Cassie Brundage. She chops this one, going to land down, and she's able to get a leadoff single. That ball fell just past the reach of Weller over there at short. Looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter. Gracie Mixon will be pinch hit for, and that's going to be Mary Seal Brumby. Brumby started the game for the Nighthawks in the first game, as the designated hitter also came in to first. Got some action there as Sophie Mooney got some time to warm up and then came in relief. She takes strike one. 0-1 count on Brumby as Blair's going to take off. And the throw is in time. Sydney Blair is thrown out by Addie Reynolds behind the dish. That is Reynolds' second batter that she's caught stolen here today. Threw Mallory Parker out last half inning. So that clears the bases for the Sand Sharks, and Brumby finds herself in a 0-2 hole. She's going to take a ball there. 1-2 count. Brumby's going to swing on that one, fouls it back. 1-2. Brundage delivers a changeup, and Brumby waits on that pitch and is able to fight it off. Nice job by Brumby to keep her hands back and get enough on that ball to keep her bat alive. Brumby sends this one to Brundage, and that is going to be fielded and thrown out. So the Nighthawks have 2 outs quickly after a leadoff single. They now have 2 outs, no one on. Sure that is not how this Coach Davenport anticipated this inning to look for the Nighthawks after a leadoff single from Sydney Blair. We're going to have another pinch hitter, and it's going to be Grayson Perry. Perry came on and pinch hit for the Nighthawks in the last game. She's able to get a double. She's been a great pinch hitter for the Nighthawks so far this season. She takes a ball outside from Brundage. So far in mostly relief work, Perry has a .364 batting average. Has 1 RBI on the year. She had a nice job coming in and a lot of pinch hitting situations. She did start 1 game back on February 9th against West Georgia. She had 3 at-bats in that game. She went 1 for 3. Perry sends this one deep into left, and that ball is well gone. Perry got all of that ball and gets a pinch hit home run. And the crowd is on their feet for that hit as Perry sent that one to the moon. Perry gets a home run and extends this lead to 7-1. And everyone is fired up for Grayson Perry after that moon shot. Nighthawks have answered right back after the Sand Sharks were able to score a run last inning. Looks like we're going to have another pinch hitter for the Nighthawks. Coach Davenport never afraid to go deep in his lineup. Not afraid to go to the bench at any given moment. And it's going to be number 14, Journey Roberts, the freshman from Livonia, Georgia. She's going to take strike 1 from Brundage. Roberts has 1 hit and 9 at-bats, also is able to pick up 2 RBIs. She takes a ball 1 from Brundage. That one's going to get away from Reynolds. 2-1. After Grayson Perry's home run, the Nighthawks now have 11 hits so far today. Roberts sends this one past the diving Goodwin at second. That ball is going to be thrown in by Coleman, and Roberts able to pick up a single, get her second hit of her Nighthawk career. And we're going to have another pinch hitter for the Nighthawks. That will make it 4 in a row for the Nighthawks. And it's going to be Anderson Wright in place of Jolie Lester. And that's going to bring a mound visit out from Owens. Wright is a junior from Sonoya, Georgia. She was the Chick-fil-A Nighthawk of the Week back on May 1st, 2023. Aniston is also a pitcher for the Nighthawks. This is her first at-bat on the season. Last season she had a .458 batting average. Had 11 hits in 24 bats. Had 2 home runs and 9 RBIs. That ball is going to be low in the dirt from Brundage. 1-0. Right, looking for her first hit in the 2024 season. That ball is going to be inside, 1-1. That ball is going to get past Reynolds, and Roberts going to advance to second and round the bag. So Roberts puts herself in scoring position for the Nighthawks. This Nighthawk team is very deep, and they often get a lot of plate appearances, prepares them for the future. As Wright sends this one to short. She's going to field it and fire home, not in time as Roberts is able to come around and score. Aniston Wright gets her first hit on the season and extends this Nighthawk lead 8-1. We're going to have a pinch runner. Most likely will be Jelly Lester coming back to run, and it will be after Wright is able to pick up a hit. Gets an RBI. Heads up base running by Roberts at second base. Saw that ball go into the outfield, but it was a nice job by Weller to keep that from going all the way to center field, and she tries to fire home, but just a little bit too high for Reynolds to apply the tag. So Caitlin Johnson will be up, who's 0 for 1 on the day. She fires this one. It's going to land just foul. That probably would have been the game for the Nighthawks as Lester was well on her way to third. Caitlin Johnson will do it again. Nighthawks can walk this game off if they're able to send Lester home. That ball's going to be outside from Brundage, 1-1. Another ball from Brundage, 2-1. St. Sparks just need one out here in the bottom of the sixth. If they want to have a chance to make a comeback at this game, they're going to need a pick up and out before Jolie Lester comes across home, and that's going to be another ball outside, 3-1. Lester is going to take off on the pitch, and she's going to be safe. Caitlin Johnson picks up a strike, loads this count up 3-2. With 2 outs, Lester will be moving at the crack of the bat. She will definitely score if this ball is put in play and is able to get past the infield. Johnson sends this one softly to Stevens at first, who fields it cleanly and throws it to first for the final out of the 6th inning. Nighthawks are 3 outs away from victory when we return on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
Greatness. Greatness is defined as striving to succeed. It is giving everything you have to achieve your goals. It's not defined by the numbers of games you lose, the numbers of shots you miss, but it's the risk in failing that will define your greatness. You earn it by showing up early, by pushing yourself every day, by working harder than everyone else. And when you've reached that point of giving up, you don't. Most people are good, others are great. Find your greatness.
Welcome back to Dahlonega in the top of the 7th inning, where Tybee Denton is looking to go a complete 7-inning game as she throws ball 1 to Mackenzie 4. She throws a strike to 4, 1-1. As Four sends this one shallow into center, and Parker is there for the first out of the inning. Looks like we're going to have a pitching change for the Nighthawks after Denton picks up the first out of the top of the 7th. And it's going to be Delaney Heberlin coming in hoping to get the final 2 outs. Heberlin is a senior from Eustis, Florida. She was a 2023 Peach Belt All-Conference second team member. So far this season, Heberlin has appeared in 2 games, started 1, pitched in 6 innings, given up 7 hits and 5 earned runs. Had a very nice 2023 season with a 2.17 ERA, had 12 wins and only 2 losses. Had 55 strikeouts on the year. She'll face it off against J.C. Coleman. She throws a strike for her first pitch. It's going to be outside from Heberlin, 1-1. Heberlin fires and is going to get Coleman to swing at that one, 1-2. Coleman's going to send this one softly to Moody at short, who's able to play that one well and give the Nighthawks the second out of their inning. Sandhawks are down to their final out, so Rhea Simmons is up, 0 for 2 on the day. Heberlin throws a first pitch strike to Simmons. The Hawks looking to secure the series win if they're able to pick up a final out. Give them a 2-0 start in Peach Belt play. Bats came alive in this game, picked up 12 hits. That ball's going to be high from Heberlin, 2-1. That ball is going to be in there for strike number 2, 2-2 count, which means that the Sand Sharks are down to their final strike here today. It's going to be hit to Laveo Masonette, who fields it and fires it over to first for the final out here today for the Nighthawks. Nighthawks are able to win this game 8-1 and secure the series victory over the Sand Sharks. Tybee Denton went 6.1 innings, giving up only 2 hits and 1 run while picking up 7 strikeouts along the way. Nighthawks record 13 hits on the afternoon. Game 3 of this series will be tomorrow afternoon at 12 p.m. We hope you'll join us for the final game of this opening PBC series. With that, this is Bailey Vessel along with the rest of the Nighthawk Sports crew. We thank you for joining us this afternoon and hope you have a good evening.